What's going on, everybody? This is going to be more of a chill video. I want to make a guide on one of the most infamous levels, which is Match Master JO2. Keep in mind, my game is in Spanish because it's a faster language for speedrunning, but this is the Match Master level, which is also, unfortunately, in the any percent speedrun. So this guy is going to go over a couple of things. First off, how the blaster actually works. In a speedrun, if I catch any of you speedrunners using a squeezer, you're reported. I'm going to report you to the authorities and possibly ban you. That's a joke. Relax. But the squeezer does lose about a minute compared to the blaster. The blaster is a very, very, very effective weapon in this level, and it's not that hard to learn how to use. It's just riskier, of course. You're going to lose a little bit more runs starting out, but it's not that bad of a weapon once you give this level enough time. So I'm going to teach you all how the blaster works and why it's hard for most people to understand how to do this level with the blaster. A lot of people have never even done it with the blaster because it's just so incredibly hard. So you're going to start from up here, and first thing you have to know about the weapons mechanics is that the orange boxes get destroyed a little bit easier than the white boxes. The white boxes are going to get destroyed in one of two ways. Either you directly hit it, or it gets hit by an air burst, or what I call an air burst, where it does not hit a box, but it just bursts in the air. One of those two ways will destroy it in one hit, but it will take 2 hits if I hit it indirectly. So if I hit this orange box and the blast happens to hit this white box, that is okay. It'll just turn half damage until it gets hit again. So you may think, oh, well, I can never hit these boxes now because the box next to it is hit. But the next tip that I want to give you is that the blaster's blast range only lasts on the bottom half or the top half of the box. So if I were to shoot the bottom half of this square, that's going to hit it. If I were to hit the bottom left corner of the square, then it's going to hit it. But if I hit the top, then it's perfectly fine. So managing where you shoot the orange boxes is the most important part of this level. All right, next, now we've gone over how to avoid breaking the white boxes. Let's go into the more specific stuff, like how to kill multiple boxes. This is definitely most prevalent in the very beginning when you get to this section. So you can destroy up to 6 boxes in a straight line if you shoot it directly in the middle. So let me go ahead and demonstrate that once I get to like here. Destroy these boxes, and now I have these 6 boxes in a line. This is one of the ones that you're going to break all at once. So if you shoot it right in the middle of the seam, then it's going to hit those 2 from the blast, it'll hit these 2 from the blast, and it'll hit both of the boxes from the blast, like this. So you can shoot up to 6 boxes, maybe even more if they're really, really clumped together. When you do this section here, oops, I fell down. When you do this section here, be very careful that you actually do a direct hit on these boxes, because if you do an air burst, and it's too low, then it will break the white boxes underneath. So you have to be very careful in that section. Next thing I want to talk about is ink conservation. That is probably going to be a limiter for when you get to higher levels and you start doing this level faster and faster. But when you're just starting out and you're really focusing on making sure you hit the orange boxes in the right spot, your ink isn't going to be that big of a deal so long as you're following the right route. But the way that the Rapid Blaster Pro recharges ink, it will recharge ink so long as the blaster is not shooting. And there actually is a little bit of a cooldown. So you see, if I shoot 1 bullet, I have to reset into that animation first. So I shoot 1 and then I reset. It doesn't start charging the ink back until I reset. So if I'm constantly firing, then even though there's a lot of time in between the shots, it's not going to get any more ink, which means it's going to deplete. And this even counts if I'm not shooting anything. And this is one of the more frustrating things about the level, is that if you run out of ink, you can't continue spamming, because I'm like, hey, I'm out of ink. Can I shoot now? Can I shoot now? Can I shoot now? Can I shoot now? No, it's not going to let you do it. There's a couple points in the route where you're going to pause for this specific reason, so that you get enough ink back in your tank and you can continue firing. When you're practicing this level, I assume that if you're watching this, then you are interested in speedrunning the game. If you're practicing this level, this is something that we call practice timing. For it. It makes it a little bit easier to track how well you're doing this level if you time it consistently and effectively. So what I do is I will start the timer when the inkling blasts off. And then the timer is going to stop once I break the last box and the cutscene starts. So starts when you blast off, and then it stops when you hit the last box. So here's what the route looks like. There is a route for this level, and you will have to practice each section individually so that you can memorize all of it. And there is a lot of memorization and visual cues on where you're going to shoot for every part of this level. This is the most updated route. I'm going to try my best to represent it in the best way. But when you go fast enough in this route, you should not run out of ink. But that's also assuming that you hit every single shot. The first section, once you hit this grapple link, you're going to go down here and shoot right in the middle. Boom. It hits all 5. Now you have to be careful about this one box. You can't go shooting here. You have to shoot right at the top of this box. Shooting at the top of this box is going to get all 4 of these guys. So, bam. Then you shoot one more time and hit that corner. And now all that's cleared out. Then you're going to go over here. Shoot 1 to get this corner. Then you're going to aim down here. And hopefully you get all 5 of those boxes. But that's a really hard shot to get. As long as you get those 3 down there, that's fine. Because once you drop down there at the end of the level, you'll have plenty of time to get those and clean it up. So, that's the only 5 shots you're going to be doing up here on the front face. Then you're going to go over here before you drop down. So you're going to do this that I just talked about in the beginning of the video. Shoot left, shoot right, and then shoot directly in the middle. That's going to break all of those, and you should have all of them except for that 6 stack that I showed you earlier. Then you're going to shoot dead center in this box, and now you're good to fall down. When you fall down, if you want to optimize it, you can shoot this while you're falling. It's pretty safe. Shoot it right in the center. Then you're going to shoot these. And there's a little trick. After you shoot this one, you're going to be out of ink if you're going fast. So you're going to grab the ink refill. And if you shoot right on this right corner in the very center of the box, it'll hit every single box. So make sure that one sticks. Shoot these. And then shoot that one. And we're ready to go back up. Now we're going to clean this up by just shooting the corner box there. Be really careful not to hit that one. This is one of the more complicated shots in the game, and you have to do this twice. So let me go ahead and explain how it works. So like I said earlier, the boxes on the right and the left are only going to get shot if you shoot on the correct half of these boxes. So for example, I'm going to go ahead and shoot on the right half of these 2 boxes here. On the right half. Bang. So you can see only the boxes on the right side got hit. So that means I can still hit this box so long as I hit it on the left side. If I were to hit this box on the right side, it's going to break the white box and I fail the level. So I have to be really careful. So you're going to be doing this from up here. You shoot the box from the right, and then you get way in the corner and you shoot it right on the left. That's a very precise shot. You know, it'll take some practice to get used to, but once you get there, you're probably not going to fail it too much. Okay. Now let's move on. Here's the 6 box that I talked about. Shoot right in the center. Shoot the corner. Then we are going to hit these 3. Preferably, you want to shoot as high as possible so you get all 3 of them. That's kind of tricky because there's an angle. And then the same for the bottom there. Also be careful that you don't accidentally hit this box twice. Now you can do the same thing down here. Shoot all of those boxes, those, and you're ready to go up. Here you're going to do the first and only airburst in the entire level. This is, you be very careful when you do this. Don't aim too low because then the white boxes underneath will get shot. So you want to aim a little bit to the left. First of all, you want to be standing at the edge of this box. Second, you want to be aiming a little bit high and to the left of these 4 boxes, and then you can fire. And you're going up. So let me show that again. You're going to go up here. You're going to fire. And then the airburst should get all of the boxes down there. So I get the airburst, and then I immediately shoot up there. Sometimes the blaster will miss, but that's just something you deal with. So to show that one more time, you do the airburst, and then as soon as I hit this grapple link and go up it, I'm going to go to the very top. So shoot, and then shoot. So now I'm up here. Now we hit this corner. That'll break those boxes, and we're completely done with everything in this corner. Now we go down here. Shoot this corner. And then, if you're going fast, this is when you're going to run out of ink. So you have to go down here. If you're going a little slow, you can afford to... If you're going a little slow, you can afford to get these 4 boxes first, so you can shoot these 4 and then go down. But if you're really, really fast, then you should be down here. So I'm going to do this for the sake of the route. Then, once you grab that ink refill, since you're full of ink, you're going to shoot this right in the center. Bang. That'll get all of those boxes. And then this is a really tricky one, since there's a grapple ink right here. Let me show what I'm doing. As I'm falling, I want to shoot it right in the center of this. So I'm going to go from the top there. I'll go back to the top. So as I'm falling from this part, I'm going to shoot directly in the center of those boxes, and hopefully it hits all 5. Sometimes it won't. Sometimes you'll miss one. That's okay. Sometimes the timing doesn't work out right. But when you're doing it fast, you can't really miss. It's very hard to hit this white box over there unless you really, really miss, because you're just so close to it. Anyway, then you fall all the way down here. Hit these. Hit these. Now this bottom left corner is completely done. We can move on. Here, we're going to do the same trick. Hit the very middle of the box. That breaks all of them. Shoot those 2. Shoot these 3. And we're back up. Shoot 3 in the corner. Shoot 2. And we're up. Here, we should be very low on ink. If you've been calculating it properly. But that should be okay so long as you time everything perfectly. Here, you have to be very careful, and I'll show you another trick. So I'm going to shoot at the very bottom of this one. That should get all the boxes down here. Now you'll notice the floor boxes that I'm standing on have damage. So the same rule applies. I cannot hit any of these boxes on the bottom half. I have to aim to the top. A lot of runners will be very safe with this and actually jump into the corner before they shoot. That way, it's pretty much guaranteed that they don't hit the bottom half. But you can also just stand back a little bit and shoot the top. But just be very careful not to shoot the bottom. If you ever break any of these boxes, that's what happens. You shot the middle or you shot the bottom of the box, and those boxes got broken. So now you grab that ink refill, because you're also probably going to be low on ink there. You're going to drop down, shoot 1, and jump down, shoot 2, shoot 3. Sometimes there's 1 remaining. Then you're going to aim here. Luckily, I got all 5, but if you don't, just shoot again. You'll have plenty of ink. It's not a big deal. And here you have to do that corner strat again, where you want to make sure you're lined up perfectly and shoot the right part of the box. And that is all of the boxes in the level. That is all of them. I'm going to show you this level one more time in full speed to show you how fast and how it goes and where the ink refills are and all that stuff. Blast off, start the timer. Fire, fire, fire. Bang, bang. Missed one. That's okay. And I stopped the timer, and you can see it was about a 110. So, I mean, the cutscene does start pretty quickly, so you have to be prepared to stop the timer. 110 is a really solid time. I would say if you are planning on getting really, really good at this level, 110 should be your goal with that timing method. The fastest I've seen this level done was by Hasterice, and it was definitely sub-minute. I think it was around 56, 57 seconds. Which is about 15 seconds faster than what I just did, which makes sense. I was pretty slow in aiming. If you want to get really good, as in very top level, this time should be sub-minute or around 105 at least before you start doing runs. Because you remember, when you're doing runs, you're going to do this level slower. You're not going to be as reckless as you are in practice. The last thing I want to show you before ending the tutorial will be the backups, because knowing what to do in a backup is very important, because you don't want something to go wrong in the route that you've never seen before and not know what to do. So there's a couple things that I can think of that can really mess you up. Let me go ahead and go through them. So this beginning section is usually very normal. This is probably the one that you're not going to mess up very much because you do it the most. Next, you're going to go into this part. So one of the mistakes you can make is possibly aiming too far to the left here, and you hit those boxes there. Okay, well, if I leave those boxes, I'll just let it go. I'll just let it go. We continue on, whatever. Not a big deal. Now, one of the things that you may show up, you know, you have to do an extra shot here. One thing that may show up is, what do you do if maybe I forgot this box that I'm, you know, this empty box here, and then I shoot this, and now all of a sudden this is broken? Well, don't panic, because if you panic, you're going to shoot here, and then the white box is going to get broken, and you don't want that. So, if this happens and the center box gets hit, wait until you're over here, and then shoot this side of the boxes. Then it's going to be fine. The next backup is the worst. It's probably the worst thing that could happen in this level, and I'll show it to you now. If you shoot right in the center of those boxes there. So, as I talked about, the white boxes are going to get shot twice to break. And I need to shoot one of the sides here in order to break this box down here. But since I shot the middle of those boxes, both of these are hit. So what do? This is impossible now. The only way, like I said, this is the worst thing that can happen. The only way to hit this box now is to go down to the bottom and shoot it from underneath. You have just enough range to hit it from the bottom corner without messing anything else up. So you don't have to do that at the start. You know, if that happens to you and you recognize it, save it for the end, because you're gonna have to be at the bottom anyway. So save it for the end. You can be like, well, let me just continue on. I see those are broken, so let me just move on, do my thing, and then continue. One common error you may have is shooting too low. Let me show you what happens if I shoot too low. Say if I'm right underneath the grappling, boom, everything gets broken. You don't want that. You want to hit only the orange boxes. Another important backup to know is the commonly missed boxes. So sometimes you'll be going through and you just simply don't notice that you missed a box. So what should you do then? Well, you should check the common areas. One of them is probably going to be this back corner box. This is really hard to miss if you leave it, because if you think it's broken and you continue on and then you're over here, look what happens when I'm shooting from underneath. I'm aiming here, and then I'm back over here. I'm not going to notice that it was this one. So that's a very commonly missed box, and that'll happen if... Where's the grappling? That would happen if you accidentally shoot too far to the left on this corner box. So that's a very commonly missed one. Any on these back wall, honestly, are pretty commonly missed. So just be careful on missing it, because you don't want to get to the end of the level and then realize, and then, you know, shoot these, and then you're like, okay, time to go, and the level doesn't end, and your heart sinks because, you know, you just lost 20 seconds trying to find what box you missed. And one more thing, I mean, just in case any of you were asking, there's no way to get the checkpoint easily in this level. I mean, if you're a complete wuss and you do not think you can do this level without getting the checkpoint, then I guess you can spend 30 seconds getting it. But in general, it takes so much time to get the checkpoint, probably like 40 seconds, I would say, to just get the checkpoint, that it's honestly worth just doing the level over again at that point. So, you know, depth doesn't really matter. And of course, once you get to the higher level of speedrunning, messing up this level is going to be a reset anyway. So that will pretty much be everything you need to know about this level. If you have any other questions, then let me know. I'll be making more tutorial series on this channel, breaking down the more commonly messed up levels in the run, including girl power. So I'll see you next time, and have a good one.